7:38 on that vacation question. The great Margaret in Bridgeport. My choices again are what? Well, it's a walking tour of Chernobyl or bungee jumping. She said, give me Chernobyl. I've worked with radiation since 79. I glow in the dark already. At NatBco, it's a brand new feature, Natalie Compton, Washington Post. I just invented called Terrible Choices.
Oh, give her one of those. You got one?
So, have you ever bungee jumped on any of these trips?
I haven't. I've gone skydiving a couple times, but the bungee freaks me out.
Yeah, me too.
That one's spooky.
Me too. And I did not know this until yesterday when I was researching with my team and our team of, how many writers do we have, Tom? Is it 25, 30? It was me in a chair. And that you could do a walking tour of Chernobyl. And I would rather do that than bungee jump.
Yeah.
Less whiplash.
Until your head grows from the exposure to the radiation and then you bobble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, at NatBco on social, as I mentioned, Washington Post, where you read Natalie Compton all the time. If there's one thing in travel you want everyone to know today, what is it? What's your top of mind?
If you are traveling internationally, global entry is fine, but mobile passport is better.
So good.
So good.
Is over and over again. My brother-in-law just traveled internationally, said the same thing. It took him 1 minute to get back into customs. It's
so
free.
good.
People still ignore this wisdom that I know we've talked about.
I used it.
So good.
People talk about it.
Yeah.
You can take your picture right when you're sitting on the plane. You land, take your picture. You got an hour to get through.
Yeah, you literally, that's when you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
Could not be. It's one of the great pieces of advice you've offered amongst many. All right, news this week. It looks like we're going to get into a war between the airlines on who could screw the passengers more in baggage prices. What do you know about this?
This is just so disappointing. I feel like the disappointed parent going, why? We expected more from you, but a slew of airlines have increased their checked bag fees for passengers. And that's United, American, JetBlue, Alaska. We're just waiting on, will Delta follow suit? Of course, we know Southwest is still the good guy here and won't charge a checked bag fees for the first 2 bags. So there is still a little bit of hope in this world, but we're seeing lots of airlines increase their checked bag fees right now to about $35 to $40.
But how long will that last? Because they put it out there and they raise all these prices and something dramatic happens and they switch them back. And then if you have status, you don't have to pay. And then you bring your friend's bag because you get to have 2 free ones. I mean, people get around it.
Yeah, they have different marketing ploys to try to soften this. But we've seen like United raise them in 2020 to, I think it was about 30, and now they've raised them again to 35. So we're not expecting the trend to be they're going away completely or they're going down. What some analysts say is this is probably another push to get people to sign up for airline loyalty credit cards, because for a lot of those cards, if you sign up, you get free checked bags or at least one. There are also no fees if you are usually booked in a premium cabin or if you have elite status with the airline. So all of this is trying to get you to spend more money with one airline, have loyalty with one airline, or, of course, sign up for their credit card. But we're thinking this is probably airlines are they follow suit of the other ones. This is not driving prices down. They're seeing, oh, the other guys did it. We can raise them too.
So we're basically going to be a la carte on everything at some point. I mean, seat cushions. Somebody's
belts.
Flight attendant says hello.
That's definitely extra. Although if you're staying in a premium cabin, they will make eye contact.
Yeah, and here's something that's disturbing. This is a TikTok trend. Little kids on planes taking their seatbelts and putting them around their ankles, where they put their knees up to their chest. Have you seen this, Miranda?
Yeah, it looks kind of unsafe to me.
Because they're just tucked in? They're just like...
I think kids are just bored, and because they can put their knees up to their chin, they can. But their parents are taking these pictures thinking it's adorable. Well, the seatbelt's there for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one note with that is we are seeing that turbulence has been really bad and getting worse in recent years. And airlines are really saying you definitely want to keep your seatbelt on, whether or not the light is on. I mean, definitely when the light is on, but even when it's off, staying buckled in, because we've seen some really intense, unexpected turbulence. I just took a flight last week where turbulence lasted for an hour and a half, and it was heavy. So it can come out of nowhere. And so if you're a parent, not to say that having a cute picture like that is the end of the world, but we just really need to be careful. A friend of mine just had a flight where flight attendants were concussed. They hit the ceiling when the turbulence was happening. And if people didn't have their seatbelts on, they went flying too. So it's a weird time for turbulence, and people got to keep their seatbelts on.
All right, we have a tourist question. Let's go to Tourist Jane. Where are you going this weekend?
I'm going to San Antonio this weekend, so I'm wondering if you have any highlights that I should visit while I'm there.
I would definitely recommend searching the Washington Post for San Antonio, because my colleague Andrea Sachs just recently went there. We were talking about it for our Where to Go in 2024 story, actually, because it's kind of had this renaissance, and she had a wonderful time. I know they have a beautiful river walk, but I've never been myself, so definitely encourage you to check out her.
I'll have to give you the report.
I
will wear my seatbelt, and I'll go to the Riverwalk.
I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
And other than golf and eat, I don't have a lot for you, but it's a fine city. And you're only an hour or so from Austin, I think.
Yeah, but
and if you're there, you should go to Austin.
I'm just going to Google up the Washington Post and find out what they said.
That's a good point. Why would you listen to me? No, it's a good point.
Because we've got Natalie on the phone.
No, exactly.
She knows.
That'd be cool. Yeah. 100%. You mentioned the loyalty cards, points and miles. You know, we were in a situation during pandemic where there were some restrictions on these, and there weren't. And people bought tickets, and they didn't know if their tickets were good to keep for over a year. Would they hold their value? Is there any central way we can figure out all that?
Airlines make it really confusing whether or not you're getting a good deal with your points and miles, or whether, you know, like you said, lots of people had canceled flights or they wanted to reschedule their flights during the pandemic. I found it heinously frustrating, and I cover this stuff, to look into my airline account wallets and see, do I have a travel credit or is it a voucher? You can't use them both at the same time. Every airline has a very complex system for these things, and they have each tweaked their policies accordingly. So I would just say, whatever airline you're on, you want to read the fine print for what is it today and what does my expiration date say on this today. If you're confused, you can give them a call. You know, they might call you back in 6 hours, but talking to someone on the phone about what you have and how long it lasts might be the clearest way to go about this.
It's one of the things that amazes me is why the public isn't more up in arms about this. If you've spent money on a ticket and for whatever reason you didn't fly, that ticket should have value. The cash has exchanged hands. It shouldn't expire.
Right.
It's pretty wild. Right now, the White House has different proposals out trying to tackle junk fees and trying to hold airlines accountable for different policies that really frustrate travels. They're trying to get airlines to promptly refund you for an airline ticket when they cancel on you or significantly change it. Right now, of course, the policy is you can get a refund, but you have to request it. I had a flight canceled on me recently, and the airline does not just automatically give you your money back. They say, oh, would you like this voucher? That's confusing. And you have to go out of your way to get that refund. So you're right. Why aren't we more frustrated? I think we see airlines as very complicated, big, faceless behemoths, and it's just too annoying to hold them accountable most of the time. You
really do get into a position where you go, what's the dollar value of my time?
Right.
Continuing to do this. Asking for a friend, then we'll let you go, Nat. But if you have a ticket and you're not sure if it's expired, a regular customer service route, or what do you do?
Regular customer service route, unless, you know, you are going to be flying really soon. If you have loyalty, again, this all goes back to them wanting you to have loyalty, the phone line should recognize your number as like, oh, you have status, or you're at least signed up for a loyalty account. Sometimes that can lead to a shorter wait time. Using those chat bots as a way to start the conversation is annoying to pull your hair out, but it can sometimes speed up the process. Seeing on the app, if you've downloaded your airline's app, you might be able to see what the expiration date is on either your voucher or credit. And then, of course, if you are really feeling like I don't want to be waiting, this feels like it's taking a long time, you can look online at the phone numbers of the airline in other countries. And sometimes if you call the Canada line or the France line, somebody who speaks English might answer quicker. And
it's a great idea.
You just have to make sure you don't have a phone plan that charges you international rates, because you don't want to spend money on
That's a great idea.
But,
That's a great idea. That's why you're the
Good
best.
information. She's the best. And by the way, just did a great article.
Hold on. We're like super late. I want you to talk to her off the air.
I'm just going to say, read her article about the best time to visit your world's best destinations in the Washington Post.
Oh, well, there you go. Nice plug.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
She's amazing. That's why I want everyone to know when to book their trip to the most popular destinations.
All right. At NatBeco, as always, Natalie Compton, Washington Post. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. There you go.